Alright, it just needs to happen. I just need to go ahead and review the sneak peek for Doctor Strange. He's getting a tier 4. He's my favorite character. I've been reading his comics since the 90s. So I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strange. Love every time he pops up. He's actually the reason I started playing Marvel Future Fight. I was looking for a game that had Doctor Strange in it because his movie just came out for the MCU. And I'm like, hey, this is a character I grew up with that I really like. Let's look for a game that has him. He was in Marvel Future Fight. He had just gotten released, and I've been playing Marvel Future Fight every day ever since. So as you can see here, yes, I do have a rank 10 Doctor Strange. So in Marvel Future Fight, my Doctor Strange is at rank 10. High-level overview of what I got going on here. Pretty much have all the important stuff capped out. I have Odin's blessings on everything. Everything is amplified. All of his skills are maxed out. His type enhancements maxed out. I have a full overdrive. I also have a full Hawkeyes, but I use the overdrive. I've got his artifact now. If I had a 6-star artifact, it'd be much higher rank. It is a plus 20. It is a tight match with the Justice. And I do have a custom gear, which is a brilliant CTP of Rage. And actually, I have one that's rolled up slightly better that I'll probably spend the crystals to swap out the 2 brilliant rages between Doctor Strange and another character. I do have every uniform at Mythic, and every single uniform option for every single uniform is at Mythic. So if it's not clear, I will always dump all of my resources into Doctor Strange in this game because he's my favorite character. So I'm really, really, really excited that we have got a Doctor Strange coming out with a tier 4. Can't wait to see what he's capable of doing. Now, with that in mind, this is not actually the first appearance of Doctor Strange. This is not his original look. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what we're seeing in the trailer, and we're going to do a little bit of a comparison to the way he first appeared in the comic books in Strange Tales issue 110. And yeah, this look here in the trailer. So let me go ahead and switch over to the sneak peek. This is actually his first appearance look. This is all the way back from when Steve Ditko first drew him with Stan Lee in issue 110 of Strange Tales. And I'll show that and prove that here in just a second. Get more of the trailer on the screen here. There we go. If you look at her staff, you'll see tier 3, so we're definitely getting a tier 3 Sister Grimm here. Now Doctor Strange comes down. Look at his shirt. At the very bottom, the coattails, you'll see the 4 slashes, 4 vertical slashes right there. That's our tier 4. And there we go. So those are the 4 characters we're getting. It looks pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited. I do want to point out a few things with Doctor Strange's uniform. Not only the color of his cape, but I want to point out the way the Eye of Agamotto looks on his uniform as well. So let's go back a little bit, and I want to point out a few things here. So notice that the Eye of Agamotto is square, because that is the first Eye of Agamotto we got. When it comes to the Eye of Agamotto, so the Vishanti, there are 3 Vishantis. There's Oster, Agamotto, and Hogarth. And you might have heard the hoary host of Hogarth and some of his spells and stuff that he casts. So Hogarth is the tiger dude on the right, Agamotto is the one with the glowing eyes in the middle, and Oster is on the far left there. So these are the 3 Vishanti in the comics. So the Eye of Agamotto is actually an amulet to one of the Vishanti, and there are multiple amulets. It is not an Infinity Stone in the comics. I know they change it later. So this is his first appearance in Strange Tales. So the Eye of Agamotto looks a little bit different here. And if you go further into the comic and actually open it up, it's really hard to see. I'll go to the next one. Next little clip here. He is wearing a blue cape. This is like when he first appears, and you'll see here, look at that, square Eye of Agamotto. This is his first appearance in the comics in a couple of the Strange Tale issues. This particular one here is issue 126. He actually does not earn the Cloak of Levitation and a new version of the Eye of Agamotto until he fights Dormammu in the Dark Dimension. So this is issue, I think this is issue 127. Yes, this is issue 127. Here's Dormammu here. He first faces off with him. He actually fights him to a standstill. And the mindless ones are breaking into the Dark Dimension, which Dormammu has dominion over. And Doctor Strange actually helps him and amplifies his powers to push back the mindless ones so they don't destroy the Dark Dimension. And he owes Doctor Strange a boon. So Doctor Strange gets him to agree not to attack Earth as long as Doctor Strange is alive. So that's like how the rivalry starts. They actually fought each other to a standstill. Because of this, the Ancient One rewards Doctor Strange. And this is Clea here. Hopefully she gets a uniform too with the update. Again, you can see the square Eye of Agamotto going on here. Blue cape, blue cape. This is pretty much exactly what we're seeing here. This look here is 100%, in my opinion, from his first appearance in his first couple comic runs in Strange Tales. He didn't even have his own named comic at the time. These are mindless ones. When you fight Dormammu as a GBR, that's that mindless one. There's multiple mindless ones, and they're all trying to break in. So when Doctor Strange actually wins and comes back, Ancient One's like, hey, I've always been fighting against him. So he gives him the Cloak of Levitation and a new Eye of Agamotto here, which is more circular. And that actually matches in our game. If you switch over here to the uniform, which is his first look of the uniform, you'll see that uniform has the circular Eye of Agamotto. And you got the red cape going on for the Cloak of Levitation. And now if we go back, you'll see here in the very next issue, which is issue 128, he now has the red Cloak of Levitation. Now the biggest difference here is not only is the eye circular now, but you also see that he has a red collar. So in the game, he actually doesn't have that red collar. I think that's like the biggest difference here is he doesn't have the red collar, he has a blue collar, but it's still supposed to be the Cloak of Levitation. So there's been slight mild differences on how it looks. He also doesn't have gloves on here. So this is probably one of the, I don't know which specific comic this is from. I mean, they call it All New, All Different looks. So it's probably one of the comics related with that. He has had many different appearances throughout many of the comics, including having a blue face mask. But all around, I think it's pretty obvious and pretty clear that we're getting a uniform that is his first appearance in comics ever. So I am looking forward to that. I do recognize that. I do think that's wild. A lot of people don't realize that he got the Cloak of Levitation from fighting Dormammu back and agreeing to a truce and not to attack Earth. So just wanted to give a little bit of background. Personally, I think that he's going to be meta. I hope he's meta. I really, really, really hope he's meta. Not only because I've invested so many resources into him, but he's just my favorite character all around in Marvel. Him, Shang-Chi, and Magneto are probably my three favorites ever since I was a kid. And seeing more media come out with him, with the latest MCU movies and all that, I was pretty excited. I was a little disappointed with the Multiverse of Madness. I feel like they didn't do him justice. And seeing this is kind of based upon his Defenders look uniform. I mean, this is an okay uniform, but for a while there, when we first got the spacesuit, if anyone remembers the APK, this was actually crushing it. He actually was doing 12 million before 12 million was a thing for ABX. And then they nerfed his chain hit for whatever reason, and when they actually released uniform, it was good, it just wasn't as good, and he's kind of fallen off as being meta ever since, besides for World Boss Legendary. He does great in World Boss Legendary this. What with the tier 4 characters coming out, he's falling behind. So right now, he's not really worth investing in, he's mostly just a lead. So the idea that he might actually be usable in the game again, folks like me, who have invested a ton of resources into him, are massively looking forward to what he's going to be capable of doing. I really, really do hope, and like I said, so I need better swords, and I need better artifact. If I can get that 6-star artifact, I can get his rank up. But what this might mean for this character in this game, I can't wait to find out. Just thought I'd give a little bit of background on the character, kind of showcase my little flex here with my rank 10 in the game, with some of the stuff that I haven't built with. So anyway, thanks for watching, and when I get him tier 4, I will try to tier 4 him as soon as possible, and then we will see how these characters do, how they're going to do with their new uniforms, how the new, I think, what Man-Thing, the little Swamp Thing variant, how they're going to end up looking a Marvel Future Fight. So stay tuned and catch you in the next one.